Hello everyone, happy quarantine. I hope you're all doing well. I know it is really difficult times and I'm with my family right now, so you will see changing backgrounds every now and then because I have not yet figured out where there's the best light and also where there is some quiet. So in case you just heard people, this is the quiet that I'm talking about. I'm trying to isolate myself for the videos as much as possible from my family. So I'm sorry if there are some interruptions. In case you're hearing someone playing the cello, this is my sister because we are now all in one house. So now let's go straight into remote working and how I try to work from home in an environment that is not common for me because usually I live by myself, as you might know. And I have identified a few things that, first of all, are distracting you guys. I've asked on Twitter, what are the things that are distracting you the most from working from home? And also, I have now come up with a routine for myself, and it more or less seems to work. So today I had a rather productive day. So today I will be sharing my tricks and tips that I have learned since I'm working from home together with my family in a big house full of people. And the first thing that is really one of the most important things for me is to wake up early, to set an alarm, or usually since I'm an early bird, I don't need to set an alarm, but I'm getting up at around 6 a.m. and doing my thing. Today, for instance, at 7 a.m., me and my brother and my sister did yoga together. I could convince them to do yoga. And then the whole family had breakfast at around 8:30. So it's important to start your day early and properly and to get dressed, wear makeup if you're a makeup kind of person, and really to treat your morning just like you would if you were going to work. The second thing that I find really important is to have a designated workspace. So for me, when I'm at my actual place, I tend to just work on the sofa, which is why I'm not very good at working from home when I'm there. But here I'm making a big effort to actually have a desk on which I'm sitting and which I'm only using for work and not for anything else. So after I'm done with my morning routine, I go to work, literally. Yes, and this is where some of the distractions come in that you guys were mentioning. So you guys were mentioning that you get distracted a lot from Twitter, from YouTube, from family, and also from the anxiety around coronavirus. And this is so understandable. So first, for the distractions from the online world, so from Twitter or YouTube or whatever, what I tend to do is to actually just grab the documents that I need to be working on, pull them onto my desktop of the computer, and then to get into airplane mode and really only work on the things on my computer, so that if I am tempted to go onto Twitter or onto YouTube, then I at least have to switch on the Wi-Fi and I have those extra few seconds to think, wait, do I really want to do this? Or, usually then I pull myself back because I also have this impulse. On my phone, I have an app that is called Forest. I think there's also a version that is called Focus. And the background of this app is basically you say you want to work for at least, let's say, 25 minutes. So you set an alarm or you set a timer for 25 minutes. And for those 25 minutes, your phone is locked unless you really want to use it. And then you have to say, stop growing my forest. And at the end of the day, the idea is that you have grown a forest. So each time that you are working, you are growing some trees. And you can look at how many trees you have grown during your work. And this is also helping me a lot. What is also helping me is to say, okay, now from 9 until 12, I am going to work. And to tell my family, don't distract me for this time, please. And they are very respectful with this. And also I'm trying to be respectful in the same way and to not distract people when they need to work. And this is really something that if you're living around adults, this is something that can be easily done, and it's important to talk about it and to set boundaries. So in case you find that, for instance, your mother is yelling from the other room, I read a tweet about that, then yes, it's very important to speak it out once, that you really need no distraction for this time of work. Also, I'm finding it very helpful to be kind to yourself. and to acknowledge that you're not going to be as productive as you would be in your normal environment, because this is a new situation. So be kind to yourself, acknowledge that you cannot be as productive as you could have been in another environment. And then finally, you're also mentioning a lot that you're feeling very, very anxious about Corona. And this is something that I really, really understand, and it is difficult to deal with. And I'm not sure how good my advice on this is, because luckily I am not feeling anxious about this. And I can just tell you why I'm not feeling anxious about Corona. And my main reasons are that I think I'm not part of a risk group. I generally have quite a good immune system. I know that there are also some people that are being severely affected that were of good health. So I know that there's still a small risk. But right now, I don't think that I have it. I have a very, very mild cough. So either I don't have it, or if I have it, then it is very, very manageable. And this is kind of calming me down. And then also we are really doing the social distancing thing. So we are really just staying within the family and not... There is my dog right now. Uh, I'm in the basement. So anyway, those are the distractions that I'm talking about. So my dog just looked at us. What was I talking about? Yeah, so we are really doing the social distancing thing. And if you are doing that, the probability of catching the virus is really, really low, because there are also more and more data suggesting that the virus cannot really survive on surfaces for a long time. We are very, very mindful of washing our hands properly, and we are really washing our hands for the 20 seconds that are recommended. And just a little bit of background in case you don't know it. So soap is great for killing the virus, and the reason why it is great is because it has something that is called tensins inside that can kind of break up the virus wall. So you really need this sort of friction when you're washing your hands, and you need to do this and that and so on, and really making sure that for 20 minutes you are putting a lot of friction onto the potential virus. And if you're doing that and then also rinsing it off with water, then the probability of still having the virus on your hands, and a functional virus on your hands, is really, really small. So I think washing your hands, and if you're mindful about this, and when you're outside for grocery shopping and not touching your face and also being very mindful of that, then this is already decreasing your chances to catch the virus a lot. So right now my thinking is, either if we have the virus, it seems to be very, very manageable, and if we don't have the virus, the probability of catching it the way that we are behaving right now is very, very low, and this is sort of taking away the anxiety. Another thing about anxiety is that I don't watch the news more than necessary for my well-being. So if you know me, you know that I'm only focusing on the things that I can control, and the things that are outside of my control I don't pay attention to, or I don't try to worry about it too much. So now that I know how to act, now that I know how long the quarantine in Switzerland is going to take, or in Germany is going to take, and when I'm going to start my work, I will just do my thing. And I will not worry about the things like, for instance, I'm not checking the news for how many people are infected every few hours, because I know it's an exponential growth. The numbers are going to increase, but I cannot do anything about this. I can only be as mindful and as careful and as responsible as possible. So the things that I'm in control of, I'm focusing on, which are washing my hands as consciously and as well as possible and as often as possible, and distancing myself from other people and perform social distancing. And if we catch the virus, then we will manage that, and we are going to manage the symptoms as best as we can, and we are going to go to see a doctor if the symptoms are getting too severe. And then again, if things get worse, we will again focus on the things that we can control, and not on how many other people have which sort of condition and which sort of symptoms, because again, this is outside of our control. So yeah, try to not look at the news too much, but become aware overall that anxiety is fed by the news and is fed by more information. And at the same time, when you're feeling anxious, you will want more information, but this is then going to get into a vicious cycle. So try to break this vicious cycle of wanting more information, then getting more information and feeling more anxious about that. And instead, just focus on, again, the things that you can control. And if you cannot focus on this, do this sort of anxiety exercise. This is maybe also how you can break the cycle. So yes, and finally, starting from next week, we will be back to our normal schedule and normal topics, because we cannot talk about Corona all the time. Life has to go on. Yes, and starting next week, like I said, normal topics. In case you feel the need to talk to someone, there is great remote online counseling, and there's this awesome service that is called BetterHelp, and I will link to it in the description box below. I've been using it for a long time now, and so far I used it because it is great. You can schedule it between, long centrifuge steps or something. It is very, very affordable, and especially if you are applying for financial aid, you can get a discount that is even more than the very, very affordable price that it has been before. So again, I will be linking to BetterHelp in the description box below. And with this, take good care of yourself. I hope, if you are not well, then I hope that you will get better soon. If you are doing well, then I hope it is going to stay like this, and I hope that you won't feel too anxious, and I hope that you are getting some work done and that life will go on the normal way as soon as possible. And yes, have a great day. Bye.